Hey guys, my name is TwitchAryze, and in today's video I'll be going to be ranking all of the support heroes in Overwatch 2 from worst to best. We could call this a tier list from 1 being S tier to 8th place being G, so without wasting any time, let's get started. Starting off at number 8 is Mercy. Mercy is a support hero who would have benefited the most from adjustments to help her fit in with Overwatch 2's new structure. She's the same Mercy as always, and in a setup with just one tank and an opposing team where even other healers tend to have more DPS abilities. There's not much Mercy can do. Mercy still excels at actually healing, and her attack buff comes in handy at times. The problem is keeping her alive long enough to make use of her ability. Mercy's automatic pistol is her only means of defense, and her dash ability is slow and predictable. However, in the right team compositions, especially with friends, you can coordinate very well with. You can just tuck Mercy away behind a sturdy tank or a reliable DPS who can obviously hit all their shots and help you push them to victory. And number 7 is Zenyatta. Zenyatta is another support who would have done well with more than just a fancy new kick. Zenyatta's setup lends itself well to strategic playstyle. Zenyatta can help wear down enemies' teams quickly with his Orb of Destruction. In the original Overwatch, his ability was vital to sapping a tank's health, and then could still support his allies with healing and a decent attack. They still can, but not as effectively as they used to. Overwatch 2 is also way faster than its predecessor. Maintaining the line of sight is necessary to keep healing or debuff applied is more difficult, and if you're close enough to debuff a foe, you should probably be attacking them instead. Like with Mercy, Zenyatta needs a strong tank to stay near, and a main healer to make up for Zen's low healing. Here's the tip: if you want to play Zenyatta, make sure to wait and see who else your teammate chooses first. At number 6 we have Moira. Moira is strange in Overwatch 2. In theory, Moira is a beginner hero in Overwatch 2. Moira being a superb healer better than Zenyatta and has enough DPS potential to hold her own, even without someone to take the brunt of an attack. Moira's biotic power lets her heal others with one ability and attack enemies while restoring her health with another. If you find yourself alone, you can always throw a healing orb and fade away to safety. Moira moves really slowly, of course with exception to her fade ability. Moira's biotic grasp has a short range, so it requires Moira to be near an enemy, which makes her really easy to defeat. Her biotic orb ability has strong healing and DPS potential if it makes contact, which is way harder to do on Overwatch 2's larger, more open maps. And number 5 we have Brigitte. Brigitte works really good in Overwatch, with a diverse range of abilities that lets her damage, protect, and heal almost at the same time. Brigitte's flail attack can heal nearby allies for small amounts of hit points, which can make a huge difference when you're trying to survive a fierce teamfight. But her dedicated healing ability is even better. It has impressive range and heals a significant amount of hit points, and even has 3 charges. If you choosily pick the right time to engage, you have one of the best on-field medics in the game. But what holds Brigitte the most is her lack of speed and weapon choice. The flail is powerful, don't get me wrong. However, Brigitte has a slow attack and she's open to counter attacks even while she launches her own assault. Movement is slow at the best of times, but it gets even worse when she deploys her shield, which makes it easy for enemies to flank and defeat her. But yes, Blizzard built Brigitte with DPS capabilities. She should never be compared to a tank or a DPS hero. And number 4 we have Baptiste. Baptiste seems like a plain old healer at first, right? He's just your average medic with a gun. That is true to an extent. While his kit includes none of the more flashier support elements of some of the best support heroes, it does provide one of the most reliable sources of healing and lets Baptiste hold his own in tough situations. Baptiste's main attack is a powerful biotic blast that deals a surprising good amount of damage up close, but from far range it doesn't do that well. Baptiste can also change the gun setting so it fires healing rounds instead. His healing rounds fly far and have a short cooldown timer, so keeping even distant allies alive is a piece of cake. It's even easier with his broken ass immortality field, which literally prevents anyone from dying while they remain in the field radius. He also has an ultimate ability that boosts the power of healing and damage projectiles that pass through it. Combine that with immortality field and we call it a one team fight. The downside to Baptiste is none of the healing skills actually heal Baptiste, so despite him being an excellent support, he really needs someone else to keep him in good shape. At number 3 we have Ana. Ana excels at ranged, well, everything ranged. She's an adept sniper who can deal serious damage, when her shots of course hit their target. Her healing ability flings a medical grenade at allies, but it does just more than heal it temporarily. It boosts healing for those affected, it also damages nearby enemies and prevents them from getting healed for a short time. Instead of a sprint, Ana gets a sleeping dart, which if used correctly, it can get you out of a sticky situation. The downside might seem evident. Ana is slow, she doesn't function in close range combat, and requires a bit more precision than you might expect from a support character. Her strengths vastly outweigh her shortcomings though, not least, but she can stun most nearby enemies and escape to a safe place, even if she's temporarily cornered. Just make sure to stay aware of your surroundings at all times. At number 2 we have the new wolf girl named Kiriko. Kiriko has a bit of everything, and it's best to say she ties with Lucio for the top support hero in Overwatch 2. Kiriko's basic setup is similar to Mercy's, only it's fine-tuned for Overwatch 2. Kiriko uses kunai to damage foes and deal critical hits. Her healing Onafuda has no cooldown timer, and can even target foes at a short distance, though they function more effectively at close range since they can be easily deflected or destroyed before reaching your teammate. Kiriko can also climb walls like Genji or Hanzo, which means you can keep up with the speedy DPS units such as Tracer and Genji himself. If your targets get a bit too far away, Kiriko can use Quick Step to instantly teleport to their side. This skill is more faster and more reliable than Mercy's dash, and can also be used as an escape mechanism. Kiriko's ultimate is where she shines the most. She creates a wave of spiritual energy that increases ally movement speed and attack speed, which also decreases their cooldown time, though you actually need to be near your allies for this to be any of use. Also, Kiriko's protection Suzu ability creates a small zone of protection similar to Baptiste. The protection is useful on its own, but depending on how prominent Junker Queen becomes in the current Overwatch 2 meta, it may be one of the most useful abilities in the game. Protection Suzu is the only way to heal the wounds Junker Queen inflicts, and it also negates Ana's anti-heal effect too. Finally, at number 1, which like I said is tied with Kiriko, is Lucio. I know, you're like, how is Lucio any good? So let me explain. Lucio provides continuous healing to an ally in range, so as long as he maintains a line of sight with them, and he can also swap between his songs at will, changing the healing song to one that increases movement speed. Lucio is essentially an all-purpose support character in this regard. Lucio also has a sound gun that sends concentrated blasts towards enemies and deals a decent amount of damage, and his alternative fire mode knocks them back with a powerful sonic blast. Lucio's ultimate is a game changer as it provides health to nearby allies beyond their usual hit point limits. He's one of just a handful of characters, including Junker Queen, who can do this. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Overwatch 2 content on the channel.